Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. It is Saturday. Welcome to Sipping Saturday. And man, dealing with challenging customers, something we never have to do with in the trades industry. As you see, I have a special guest in here today. Miss Kimberly, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
This is going to be fun. I got to tell y'all, if you hadn't seen it yet, jump over to our other YouTube channel. We can get either Squirt or Colton to put a link in there. Man, I interviewed her for a podcast a while ago, and I gotta tell you, you're gonna love it. Man, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna jump over here. I see we've got about 45 people in here already, and it's not showing everything up there. Squirt, if you will put a link into the Trade Talks channel, you're a Colton, I would appreciate that. And yes, we're talking about dealing with challenging customers. If you're new to the channel, you've never been here before, welcome to Saturday's live stream. I have some great people that jump in here that if you've got questions, please ask them in the comments. Please put a Q in front of it if you've got a question. We talk about some really cool stuff, but I'm not the only one with the answers. We've got a great community here. I know you think I'm the only one with the answers, right? I'm not. She says, yeah, I know better, Roger. But yeah, the cool thing is, guys, it's not just me. I've got some great people. We have been working on some neat stuff. But like I said, if you've got a question, put a Q in front of it. If this isn't your first time here, welcome back. Glad to have you here. And if you ended up on this on a replay and you were looking for something plumbing, which is kind of what we're known for, man, jump over into the channel, search it. I'm sure we've got a video out there that'll help you out. So welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. I'm going to jump into the comments, say hello real quick. Mr. Joshua Smith says, good morning. Chief of Engineering at Spring Hill Suites in Montgomery. Welcome back. My team and I have been watching you for a while now. How about a couple of free goodies? Man, I just gave you a free shout out, Joshua. Come on, man. You know the thing is, I don't get goodies from people. I don't have companies give me a lot of stuff or anything like that. Every now and then people will try to send me stuff for me to try. I do sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just look at it. But, you know, man, I'm glad y'all are here. Alabama, I'm a Longhorn fan, so, you know, we get to play with y'all in the SEC next year. It's going to be fun. Old Country Off-Road says, howdy from Tennessee. Hope everyone is having a great start to 2024. Did you have a good New Year's Eve?
I had an old lady's New Year's Eve.
Me too. What time did you go to bed?
9:30.
I went to bed about an hour later, but not too shabby. Maybe a couple hours later, but I didn't see the ball drop here in Texas.
No, I did not.
Not at all.
It dropped somewhere at 9:30, I'm sure. At 9.
Yeah, you know, whatever. Yeah,
Woo,
out
Happy
in
New Year.
the Atlantic Ocean. Great place for it to drop though. Got the Trade Talks in the house. Yes, logged in on the other channel. Squirt is in the house. Says good morning, crew. Francisco Martinez says good morning. Love the show. Thank you very much, guys. Guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. And look, those of y'all that are in early, if you'll do something, take a selfie of you, in front of the screen where we can see it. Tag me, post that on social media with a link to the show or something like that. My team will see it. And man, the cool thing is they'll repost it during the week and draw some attention to you and tell you thank you. Chris Travis, how are you? Good to see you in here as always. It's really a nice day today in Arizona. But it's warmer than it is here. It's a little chilly this morning, but I mean,
It is a little chilly. It's not supposed to be. It's Texas.
For January, 40 degrees in the morning's cold.
Yes.
But it ain't freezing.
No.
And it wasn't wet this morning.
No, I mean, it either needs to be super hot or super cold, and we're right smack in the middle of both of those. So
I don't even want the super cold.
There's that.
I want the super hot. Lennox Leader says, Roger, have you been to Canada? You know what? I haven't. I've had a couple of people ask me about coming and speaking at events up there. I have not been there yet, but I would love it in the middle of July or August. I'm honest. I don't like cold weather. I don't understand why y'all live there.
I don't like the cold weather, Roger, but in our industry, I love the cold weather.
It makes it pay off. I'll take the extreme heat instead because they're going to move on it a little quicker.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if I were Canada, I'd switch with Mexico. I'd say, y'all want to come north so bad, come all the way up here and we'll take Mexico. I like Ron White. Let's buy Mexico and flip it. Man, what a way to go. Yeah, I love the warm weather. Living in Omaha, David Matney, how are you, sir? Good morning. Old Country Off-Road, says Henry Wakefield. Howdy. Howdy to Squirt. Jack Farrell, good morning. Good to see you in here. Roger Wakefield is in the house. Devin Lee, what is up? Drain Medic, what is going on with you? Good to see you in here. Devin Lee says, first stream I joined. Man, I don't know how many of these we've done, but it's been a while. This is probably like 50 or 60, somewhere around in there. God, maybe even more than that. It's probably more. I think we've been doing it 2 years now. So good morning there. Old Country Off-Road says, give them a free used plunger. And I do have those. Cold here in Connecticut. And there it is. There is the link to the other YouTube channel. Guys, go over there and check that out. If you hadn't done it yet, get over there and subscribe. Ring the bell. That way you know when these interviews come out. We do it every Wednesday. Brett has done a fantastic job at helping get good people in here. I do an okay job in the interview, but, you know, he makes it a lot of fun. So it is. It's pretty cool. But we're getting to do amazing things and have fun all at the same time. And I believe that we do have an alarm set for noon so that we are going to open a safe today. So we might be sipping a little bourbon or tequila or something in the house. Just saying. It could happen. Kimberly, tell everybody about you, where you're from and what you do.
So I work at Rescue Air, and we do AC, heating, plumbing.
Are you used to saying plumbing yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, just slides right in.
Yeah, it just slides right in. I have been with them for almost 9 years. Helped them grow from 0 to 20 million. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary on January the 1st. And in that my almost 9 years with them, I have ran the gamut from doing everything to the general manager. As we discussed earlier, you know, titles are titles. They are what they are. It's, you know, where do you fit in the company? Where do they need you the most? So now I'm back to my hands in the pot of the sales team and the call center and the dispatch. So I just go wherever I'm needed.
You know, and that's exactly what it takes. But it's funny today because we're talking about dealing with challenging customers.
Yeah. Did you say something about bourbon?
Yeah. Bourbon. She said, "Can we get to bourbon?" Actually, wait. Oh, I thought I had a bottle in here. Oh, they took my bottle from me. Man, I used to have one. I got a bottle of Gentleman Jack over here.
Okay.
It's at least within arm's reach if we need it. You know, tell me about the worst customer you've ever had. Do you? Oh, she's like, it's a long list.
No.
She said, wait, we need the bourbon out before we do that. Okay, so we'll wait a little bit on that.
I'm not a firm believer in PTSD, but
I know. I just saw you break out into a sweat. Heard that deep breath, and her knuckles turned white. Okay, let's go to the worst one.
Okay, oh no, I don't mind going there.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
It's on the tip of my tongue. So we have a customer. Unfortunately, it wasn't a bad customer and gone. It's a still there customer. You know, the one that thinks that doesn't matter what you're doing, how busy you are, me right now. Dealing with these people, yes. I think it takes kindness and empathy, and sometimes you have to form into somebody that you may not normally be. I don't know. I think you have to make everybody feel important, even if they're the worst customer you've ever encountered. They're still calling you for a reason, and what are you going to help do with them? And I think you got to hold the mirror up and say, okay, I can switch. Mm-hmm. This customer called us for a reason. What can I do to give them amazing customer service, and what can I do to turn their day around? And then maybe they won't be the way that they are at the moment. A lot of times they just want to be heard.
And you know, I've studied under Brendan Burchard, high performance coaching. And, you know, that's one of the things he says. He says, you know, imagine that people, when you look at them, imagine that they have see me, hear me, acknowledge me and love me written on their forehead.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to do, is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
But we do try.
Yes, sir.
It's really it's crazy because you're right. Every customer I lost friends back when we had the big flood because they'd send me a message like, "Hey, my friend's daughter's cousin's son, his pipes are frozen," and I saw somebody in here has frozen pipes. I guess that's why my mind went there. And I'm like, "Look, can you text to me?" And I'm like, "Look, can you call the office?" Ruined the world. And I didn't hear from them for a while. And when I did contact them, I said, "Look, you're all high and mighty now."
Ooh.
And it's like, what do you mean? And it's like, well, you're doing all this stuff on social media. You don't have time for your friends. It's like, what are you talking about? And they explained the situation. I said, wait, you realize when that happened, I was getting like 50 calls. I'm going to say an hour, but it may have been a minute.
Right.
The phone would not stop ringing. I mean, it's just eventually like, I can't even answer it. It gets that way.
Oh, yeah.
But every person that contacts you thinks, look, but I'm the one you need to take care of. Because I've called you before, even though I didn't use you.
Yeah.
I called y'all before. So I'm your favorite customer.
Yes. True story.
We do try to take care of all of them.
You do. You have to. I mean, you know, if your goal, not really your goal, if you're building your company off a 5-star service, you can't let somebody else's attitude take away from that. And I think too, when it comes to angry, upset customers, you do get some of the ones that they are just you probably don't want to do business with them, but I would say probably 90% of the time they just want to be heard. They're not mad at you. They're not mad at you. They're not frustrated at you. They're frustrated at the situation. You're the one that got to answer the phone. You need to turn it around and you need to make their day. You need to help them. That's what they called you for.
And you try so hard. And just so y'all know, Kimberly keeps talking about bourbon. Don't know if y'all know what is behind door number 5. But it's, you know, it could be bourbon. So it's not in the rotation on the video. So saw Colton's message. So wanted to show that to y'all. And see, make sure that I'm playing. Okay, I think I'm good. So I've had another customer. And this was a bad one because they had busted sewer lines up under their house, foundation shifting, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, I'm communicating with the customer. I'm communicating with the insurance company. The referral came from a good friend of mine that owns a business that is very symbiotic to plumbing.
Okay.
And so I get out there, I test things, run cameras, do tests, find a problem, and literally say, look, but I can't tell you this is the only problem because of where it is. I can't isolate it 100%. Go through all that, climb under there, fix that. While I'm still there, test the rest of it. There's another leak. So I send drawings and like so this part is paid for, this part is not. We need to go here. Here's the price. They thought, well, that price is the price
Sure.
including the other price.
Yes.
And that's why it's like, this part is paid for. This is not. This is the price for this part. And they got upset. Now, remember, I'm also talking to their insurance company. I got the whole job paid for.
Wow.
And they were so upset that now their guy referred me, don't even talk to me. Won't even let me explain. It's like, dude, I went above and beyond in communication.
Wow.
And it's just some people. And I'm still smiling. I miss my friend. I really do. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And, you know, some people just don't understand. You're trying to do the best you can
Yeah.
for every single person.
Yeah, there are going to be people
All
out there
the
that
time.
have the unrealistic expectations, and you can either help them or you can't. But the bottom line is you have to try. You have to do everything you can. And if you can get off a phone call with an angry customer, knowing that you did everything you could do and you couldn't quite grab them, then maybe that just wasn't the customer for you.
It is what it is.
Yes.
And I hate to say it, I've had some customer. I have cussed a customer before because they got on the phone with one of our office people and cussed them. And I called them and I said, "Look here, don't you ever do that." And they started trying it with me. And it's like, "Oh no, you didn't." and look, I try not to go there really hard because I mean I'm a plumber. I know how to use those words too. Just saying.
So does that make me a plumber?
Yeah, you're a plumber too. She says, "Good," because I didn't think I was a sailor. Dominic Guzman says, "Good morning, y'all, from WT Premier Plumbing in Amarillo, Texas." Man, Amarillo. I bet it's warmer in Amarillo than it is here right now. Dominic, welcome in, brother. To all my plumbers out there, or even HVAC techs, are y'all going to WET? Are you going to AHR? Are you going to KBiz? We were talking in there earlier in the podcast about training and talked about it while going to video too. But I mean, man, I love going to conferences for tradespeople. There's so much knowledge, so much training there, but also getting out and networking, which I've been to trainings with you out in Florida.
Yes.
The networking there is, I mean, you meet some of the top people from the top companies around the United States.
Yep.
Man, you can build some great relationships.
You can. I'm a firm believer too that I mean, don't get me wrong, when you go to those trainings, the people that are training the classes are amazing, but I think half the time I learn more from the people that are around me than I do from the person that's on the stage talking.
What she didn't say, what she meant to say, is she learns more sitting at the bar than she does sitting in the classroom. So
You know what? There's probably those
there's
evening,
a lot of
those
truth to
evening
that.
bar
I am
talks.
because it gets real then.
It does.
People start telling you, okay, so here's what we really do. It's like, wait, what? It's like, wait, can I? Where's my recording? I ain't saying it again. But guys, it's like that. I said it for you because that's the things I've said before. I truthfully think I have learned more sitting at the bar. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you learn a lot of good things in the classroom. I've talked about some a while ago.
Sure.
But when you're one-on-one or 1-on-6 with other trades company owners at a conference, sitting at a dinner table or a bar or something like that, man, you can learn some really, really good stuff.
You can. And I think, too, I mean, just being in the different atmosphere, whether you put the alcohol into it or not, just being in the different atmosphere and not like in the classroom setting or in the professional setting, people get real. They get a little bit more vulnerable. So instead of, all of a sudden, oh, everything's amazing, I don't need any help with anything, people start getting kind of real on a one-to-one and they're saying, so you know what, this is what I'm struggling with. How do you guys do that? I don't know. I think sometimes the bar talk gets you some information.
It does. It does a lot. The Trade Talk's the best trades geared podcast on the planet. And I love that. Shot of the safe there, Colton. I see that. Thank you very much. By all means necessary. Says, my pipes are frozen. My heat isn't working. How do I fix this? Man, unless you have a battery operated blow dryer or something, it's going to be hard. You might, I don't know, get a rag or towel or something after if you get a hold of the pipe and do it real fast. You're trying to create friction and heat. I'm just giving you an opportunity there. Cold Kill, how we doing? Good to see you in here. Says, hey, Roger, just signed up for an apprenticeship with Local 452 in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm a bit nervous, but stoked to get into some meaningful and gainful employment after working crap jobs for so long. Well, plumbing could be a crap job. Depends on what task you get stuck with. Cold Kill, I love that. I love interviewing people that are new to the trades.
I think new to the trades, but also when he said after being at crap jobs, if you
There's
are
a
a company
bunch of them out
that
there.
your culture is stellar and it's where it needs to be, those are the people that
They walk in, it's a whole new world.
they walk in, it's a whole new world, and you need to keep it that way.
There's really companies like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really are. And Coco, I will tell you this: your apprenticeship, you're going to go through some training. A lot of locals have great training. A lot of them have great training centers. A lot of them really believe in their trainers and educators and students and want to coach them and do the right thing. Some do, some don't. I think local number 1 in New York probably has the best training staff I've ever met. Local 100 in Dallas, a little bit different, but it is what it is. It's my show. I get to say what I want to say. No, I was part of it. I enjoyed it, but a lot of unions believe in training. A lot of instructors believe in showing up for the paycheck. So, man, if you get into a good one, man, it's amazing. I have nothing against the union. I think the union is great because even the little training, any training is better than no training.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And it really is. I hope you get into a good one that trains well because it is phenomenal.
But do something with the training you're getting also.
Yes. learn how to use the training.
Yes.
Learn how to get in there. And I used to tell people this when I was instructor. Don't think you're just going to show up and absorb everything. Leave your phone in your car.
Yes.
Don't lay down to take a nap. When the teacher's talking, listen. If you have questions, raise your hand, ask questions. You've got to understand that a lot of these teachers, a lot of these instructors are telling you and teaching you the things they've spent many, many years learning and refining, and they want to share it. They want to help you. They want to help everybody in that classroom. But a lot of times it's on you. Are you there with a mindset to learn?
Right. You have to
Just
be.
like a new person on a truck.
You have to be.
A new person sitting in the call center.
Yeah.
Are you here to learn? Or are you just sitting here paying attention because you want a paycheck?
Yep.
If you're there to learn, you can do really, really good. Miter999 says, how do I deal with a messy job site? By messy, I mean poop. It's funny because a big poop job is the first thing or the only job I've really ever walked away from. I worked for a bad company, and they sent me on a job, and it wasn't long after getting my plumbing license, and I walk into this apartment type thing, and when you walk down the main hallway, all the doors are open, and you walk down, and when you got to the one it was, you could smell. And I looked in, there's a lady sitting there on the couch, and she just says, it's back there. Didn't even get up. It's back there. And I'm like, you're not even going to get up and greet me, say hi, take me in there, shake my hand, pleasure to meet you, thank you for coming. It's just, it's back there. So I walk back in there, and I'm looking at a toilet that I promise you has 1 foot of feces piled up and a bathtub with a trash can in it that is piled up with paper because I ain't nowhere else to put it now.
Wow.
They had more flies than the Major League Baseball has in a year.
How long did they wait to call you?
Too long. And I walked in and looked at it, and I turned right back around, walked back out, and said, I got to run out the truck, which was not a lie. And I called my office, hey, y'all need to get somebody out here to take care of this. They said, well, you're there. You're going to do it. I said, no, I ain't. And don't get me wrong, I would do it different these days, okay? Now, I would take a 5-gallon bucket, to be honest, if you're asking. Take a 5-gallon bucket in, take a shovel in, and clean it out and say, look, I've got a job to do. Yeah. Is it disappointing that people let it get that long or that bad? Abso-freaking-lutely. But, I think that's really one of the regrets I have about my career. I should have found a way to do it. Because I can truly say that is the only job I've ever just walked in and walked out and thought, I ain't doing it. So, there you go, man. You asked. Big Sean says, good morning, Mr. Wakefield. How are you, Big Sean? Good to have you in here. Yeah, and he's right. Miter 999, wear gloves. If it's that bad, you may want to go rent a hazmat suit. You may want to get a respirator. There's a million things I would think now that I could do. But at the time, I'm just like, I ain't doing that. Drain Medic says, not everyone is a customer. How long does it take most companies to figure that out?
Oh my God. Wow. I think it takes a while, and then I think the sad thing is that when you realize that sometimes you still
Try
and you still want, and they're the ones that the phone rings in the office, and the CSRs are like rock paper scissors to who has to answer the phone.
Yeah, because once we know, we know.
It's hard to give up on a customer though, because
Yes.
you always have to look in the mirror, and is it you? A lot of times it's not. You've ran the gamut. You know you've done everything you can do, but it's hard to fire a customer. Well, I think it's hard to fire a customer because you always want to prove I can get them back. I can make them happy. So, yeah.
And the bad thing is, Kimberly, all that time you spent working on them and trying to get them back, if you'd have called 3 or 4 of your mid-level customers, you could have got them up to rock star customers in that same amount of time with a lot less work.
For sure. It's hard to give up on a customer.
It is.
It is.
It's hard to give up on employees.
It's not hard to want to give up
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah.
a customer.
That sometimes just as soon as that mouth opens, it's like, yep.
Uh-huh.
You know, think about it, though. Employees are the same way.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
and
sir.
I've been through some leadership classes, and one of the biggest takeaways I ever took, and you can really look at this with challenging customers too. You've got your top 20% of your employees.
Yep.
These are your rock stars. You may not talk to them all week long. They got you.
Yep.
They don't need you. They don't call you. If you see them, it's in the hallways like, hey, how's it going? It's like, man, great. I'm out the door.
Yep.
And when I say not talk to them for a week, it depends on how your company's set up. Then you got that middle 60%. These are the guys, look, they get things done. Yep. It happens. We give them shifts, chores, problems, challenges, jobs, whatever it is. They get it done. They may have questions. They may have to call for help. They may have forgotten something. They get things done. Then there's that bottom 20%. And this is where, as an owner, it's hard because it's like, I want to know I hired the right person.
Yep.
I'm going to work with them. I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I was literally in a leadership course one day. And I was taught, instead of focusing on that bottom 20%, focus on that middle 60. You got your bottom 20%. Yep. Here's what you tell them. You got 90 days, if you're going to give them that long, to work yourself up out of this bottom 20% where you're at. Yep. That's all the help you get. Now it's on you.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to study. Here's what you need to learn. Here's the training you need. Here's who you need to ask for help. Whatever it is, there's what you need. Yep. Now it's on you.
Yep. I think that bottom 20% goes back to what we were discussing earlier with skill or will.
Mm-hmm.
Skill or will. And I think before you can let any employee go or say they're a bad employee, it's definitely a look in the mirror moment for leadership. Have you done everything with them that you can do?
Have you given them every opportunity?
Every opportunity. Have you trained them? Have you done everything you can do? And you can literally put the mirror down and say, okay, I've handed you everything. Tell me what you need. And I think it's important to say, tell me what you need from me. Tell me what you need from me. When they tell you, you have to deliver. And then they have to go from there. Like that becomes a skill or will at that point.
I'll tell you what, one of the other big company owners in town was at a conference and heard him speak one day, and he said, when I hire people, I bring them in my office. Mm-hmm. And I sit and talk to him and say, these are the expectations I have for you.
Yes.
I expect you to be in uniform. I expect you to show up. I expect you to reach a close rate of this. I expect you to do this. And literally goes down a list. Says, do you think there's anything here you can't do? Says, no, I can do all that. Okay. Because if you can't, you need to tell me now. Because these are expectations I have, and I'm being very clear, very upfront about it. And you're going to sign this piece of paper, and I'm going to sign this piece of paper because I want you to know daily, this is what I expect from you. No, I can do that. I can do that. Okay. Because if we have a conversation again about this, it's going to be about where your next place of employment is going to be.
Right.
There is no, you've already told me you can do this. Yes. And I've asked you 3 times, and you're not questioning anything. Yep. You're like, yes, I can do it. And I truthfully think that if we're that upfront and honest with people when we hire them, it's not like we bring them in. I'm like, you want me to work Saturdays? Well, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, but man, when we talked about that, I wasn't flipping cars And man, I can go buy a car today for $1,000, and by next week I can sell it for $8,000.
Yeah.
Well, then good for you, man. You don't need this job.
Yeah.
Go flip cars.
Yeah. And that's when I say too, look in the mirror as leaders. Are we setting clear expectations for our employees? I think you could say the same thing with customer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you say, you pride yourself on 5-star service, have you every step of the way provided 5-star service for that customer? Do they have a reason to feel the way that they feel? I think you can say that with employees and customers alike.
Sometimes you got to fire customers though.
You do.
But I like that because, if you walk in and tell them, and we've got the agenda cards.
Yes.
You walk in with a card and say, hey, look, here's what you can expect today. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to check everything. I'm going to come back to you and just let you know what I found. If you want, is that okay? Okay. And then before I leave, I'm going to ask you for 5-star service, ask for a review because I've told you right up front, I'm going to give you 5-star service today. And if anywhere along the way I don't do that, will you please say, hey, look, I hate to say this, but it's messy in there. Yes, I understand. Let me stop and clean that up real quick. I'm focused on the problem, and man, I think I'm almost there, but you know what? You're right. And because if they don't think it's 5-star service, and you may think it is, but if they don't, you need to give them permission
To tell you that it's
to say, hey, this is not what I expected.
Yep.
And sometimes when you walk in and talk to them, you have to ask them, do I have permission to ask you questions about this problem? Because I can just fix the problem, but if I ask you questions, we might be able to find out what caused this problem,
Yes.
what caused it to happen again if you've had it fixed before. But being open and honest and communicating with your customers is everything. Because when you ask them, do I have permission to ask you questions? And they say yes, I want you to know you have permission to ask me questions too. If I'm not explaining something fully to you, please ask me questions because I do this every day. And I know that I probably get in a rut and think, man, they know what I'm going to do. They know I'm here to take care of them.
Yep.
And you may forget to explain the whole 5-star service thing. Yep. And then at the end, you're like, hey, can I get you to write me a 5-star review? It's like, well, you didn't give me 5-star service. It's like, but I told you in the beginning I was going to, and I told you if you ever had anything to say it. You say, you didn't say all that. You just showed me your card and you went from 1 to 6. I'm going to start here and I'm going to end up here.
Yep.
See you later. Bye. And they're like, man, that's not 5-star service.
Setting the expectations is everything.
With your customer.
Yes.
And sometimes we have those difficult customers and difficult conversations as technicians, not just call centers.
No, true story. True story.
And a lot of times we know it going out.
Yeah, and I think, it for the technicians, for the customer facing, you even have it a little rougher than we do because
Small.
in here, I can smile and be clenching my fist.
Uh-huh.
Out there, it is all
I can
about
squeeze
what
my
they can
rubber ducky
see.
till his face turns red.
Yes, you can't do that in the field. So.
Well, you can, but you'll go to jail.
Well,
And you can't. You fix it. Says, unfortunately, I have work to do, but wish I could stay and listen more. Great talk, guys. Have a nice day. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm slipping behind on comments already. Old Country Off-Road says, not everyone deserves to be a customer. And there is a huge difference in a customer and a client. You're right. Everybody does not deserve to be a customer. And I say that all the time. Everybody's not our customer. And these companies that say, yes, they are. I love these plumbers walk in and say, hey, if you do number 1 or number 2, you're my customer. I'm like, good, because I'm unemployed and I can't afford you, but will you fix my toilet? And they're like, no. It's like, well, but you told me I was your customer.
yeah.
And they're like, well, it's like, you got to get over that mindset, people.
Yeah.
Everybody's not your customer. So
That's true.
I get that. I do get that.
No, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think, like I said before, the only thing I say is before you dismiss one, did you do everything you could to earn the trust, whatever it is? And there are going to be people that they're just not going to be happy regardless. You can give them 10-star service and they still going to find something that they don't like. So I think I totally agree with the fact that not everybody's your customer. I think, but before you dismiss them, look at yourself first and make sure you did everything you could do. And then when you come to the realization you can set the mirror down, then let them go. Yeah.
Miner 99 says, Colton, I suppose, does Roger charge more if the site is just filthy? And you can. And had I known that then, back then I was probably working T&M, probably time and material. So I'm going to get paid whether I'm cleaning poop, fixing toilet, carrying tools in and out, carrying a bucket in and out. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you can. Here's what I would do now if I walked in there. I'd be like, okay, look, I can fix the toilet or I can diagnose the toilet and give you a price. But first, I've got a $15,000 cleanup fee on that toilet. And you can't do that. But you can say, look, first of all, we're going to have to clean the toilet where we can even get in there close enough to work on it. And, our sewage disposal fee is $7.95. And I don't mean $7.95. It is $795. So if you will go ahead and sign this and get me started, I'll be happy to get this taken care of for you. And at that point, they're normally going to say, you ain't charging me $7.95 to clean that. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day. I will see you later.
Yeah. I think I saw some Clorox wipes under your sink.
Yeah. Here's a rubber glove with a hole, and here's a bottle of bleach. If you want to clean it, I'll come back tomorrow. You can save $7.95. Matter of fact, you clean it as good as I would, and I'll come back tomorrow, and I won't even charge you a service fee again. Old Country Off-Road says there are many trade secrets divulged at the bar. I just sit with ice water and take notes. And I know a lot of people that do that. They'll drink soda water with lime in it. I don't do that.
Oops.
Yeah, just saying. Just being honest here. There you go, Kim. The safe. Yeah, it's just letting you know it's still there. It is still there. Okay, so I'm get back into rotation there. Kenneth Butler says, I just got accepted for pre-apprentice at Local 16. So Kenneth, do me a favor, let me know where Local 16 is. And yeah, see, Colton's already spilling the beans, man. There's a cookbook linked in the description. So we got to have fun when the rooster crows. Robert Harrell says, pulled a toilet once and thousands of drainfly larvae spilled out. Shop vac made it smell horrendous. So, Robert, my question to you is, so did you tell them, oh, by the way, you have a broken sewer line down here now? Or was that already part of the deal? But yeah, you can ruin a shop vac too. You can get so much stuff in there, that smell does not come out. And I know because I took mine home and put it in my neighbor's pool to try to clean it. No, I'm joking. Thank you there, Colton. I appreciate that. Rusty Shackelford, what's up? Says Roger Wakefield, you ever deal with the squifty, the sheet on the floor? Squifty. I can't say that I have. You know what a squifty is? Because I don't know what a squifty is.
I can envision in my head.
I know. And I don't want to envision that. Jared Tucker, what's up? Says, hey, Amarillo, my old stomping grounds. At least you got some snow. Okay, maybe it is colder there than it is here. I don't want to be in Amarillo by morning then. Jeff Lawn and Landscaping, what is up, brother? Good to see you in here. How's everything going? Brandy, McArthur Tank. Okay, got that. 4th year apprentice from Local 25, Rock Island, Illinois. How do you dumb things down for customers who can't wrap their heads around plumbing? Always explain in great detail about the issues. And Brady, I love this. Here's what I'm going to tell you. And I learned this from Steve Jobs. And I do this when I speak on stages for the trades, for social media, and for speakers. Always try to have the conversation that a 3rd grader could understand. And it's keeping it easy. They don't understand what a P-trap is or atmospheric pressure or they don't get all that. They don't know what a fill valve is. They don't know what a flush valve is. You can take a moment and explain them. I'm going to change this valve. I'm going to change this valve. You don't have to go into great detail, but you need to make it to where they can understand it. And as a call center, too, you've got to be able to do that even better. Yes. As a plumber, I can do it in the field because I can point at something. Yes. As a call center, you got to say, well, look, there's many moving parts inside your toilet. The plumber really needs to get out there to look at it and test it to find out exactly what's giving you the problem. Yes. That way, we can make the repair then. But there will be a diagnosis fee. There will be a show-up fee, whatever they're calling it, different Plumbing companies call it different. Plumbing, HVAC, electrical, it doesn't matter. But you really, you need somebody out to look at it to at least let you know what the problem is. Jeff Lawn and Landscaping says, I'm not a plumber, but I like listening to the business side of other companies. And Jeff, it's funny because, I mean, I've been on stage for lawn care and tree trimming companies. What we talk about, customers,
We all have them.
everybody here has a customer. And if you say, no, I don't, I work for somebody else. Well, you do internal sales every day, all day long. I remember working for a big mechanical contractor. I had sold a big job out at TI, and I came into the office, and they're like, yeah, we don't want this. And, man, I couldn't understand. It's like, what do you mean, man? I've been out at TI for years. We can do all this. So I went and talked to one of the vice presidents, and he said, Roger, the first thing you've got to learn about sales is you've got internal sales and external sales.
Yes.
You can sell the job out there, but then you don't just come in, throw it down, and say, here, guys, we got this. Y'all figure it out. You've got to come in and sell them on it. Why is this a good job for us? Why is it important that we do this, do it right, and do it well? Because then we can get more jobs like this. And the union hall's just full of people that can do this kind of work. So it's not like we can't do it. So, man, we've all got customers. So everybody in business needs to hear stuff like this. Brady says, and they can't seem to wrap their head around it. Yeah, and I get that. You've got to talk to them. And here's the deal. If they're looking at you like you're talking gibberish, they're right. Not meaning that you are, but that's your customer. That's the one you're trying to paint the clear picture for. And, you know, that doesn't mean they're a challenging customer. Man, Brady, I hate to say that. You've got to find a way to think of them as a third grader. If you have kids, think of them as your kids. If you were trying to explain to your child what you were doing, say, okay, honey, here's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. Okay, don't get like that. And don't ever, I got to tell you this. One of the greatest compliments I've ever been given about what I do here on YouTube, people tell me, Roger, you teach me how to do this and you don't make me feel stupid.
Right.
You don't make me think I'm stupid because I don't know how to do it. Because, Brady, if you're making your customer feel stupid, are they going to be their customer very long?
No.
And, man, I don't mean that. I'm trying to tell you, look, I've been there. You want to explain everything. Look, the P-trap goes like this, and then when this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and the vent, and test the vents, and atmospheric pressure, and yada, yada, yada. Man, you may be able to speak it with every plumber in the world and then think, dude, you know your stuff. But if that homeowner doesn't understand it and you make them feel stupid, they're not going to be your customer. Doesn't mean you want to get rid of them. It means you need to think about how you're explaining it to them. And it's a hard thing to do sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I think, too, when you talk about dumbing it down, I think instead of trying to explain how it works, just say what it does.
It fixes the problem. And it you know, Andreas, hey, I've heard about these air filtration systems. How do they work? They work really good. I heard that and I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. Because it's true.
Yeah. And with that, too, though, I mean, the simple answer is it filters toxins out of the air as it hits your coil. That's it. That's what
you
it
can
does.
come up with a simple answer
Yes.
that even I understood that.
Yeah, you don't have to say where it goes and how it does it and how it's installed and all of that stuff. You just what's the end result? That's all they need to know.
Or all the details that you want to give them.
Yeah.
How's that whole house water filtration system work? Well, the whole house water filtration system filters the water to your whole house as a complete system before it comes into your house.
So you have clean water.
So you have clean water.
That's it. Yeah.
And man, I know that sounds way too simple, but it really, that's what they need to hear. It works. And then you want to show them something cool. Man, one of the coolest tests I've ever seen is take 2 glasses of water, and I'm off on whole house water filtration. Fill these 2 glasses up and put them down and say, Miss Kim, will you put your hand down in this one? And have her put her hand down in there. And then I take that other cup that she just saw me fill both of them up. Now I do a water test. I'm like, wow, do you see how much chlorine's in here? She's like, yeah. I said, that's a lot of chlorine. Matter of fact, this much chlorine, and I did this at my house. This much chlorine is what should be in a swimming pool. Do you want to drink water with as much chlorine as it takes to keep the pool clean? She's like, I said, okay. So take that out, rinse it out, set it aside. Now I've given it a couple of minutes. So, okay, Miss Kim, we go ahead and take your hand out of this cup, and then you test it, and there's no chlorine. And guys, this is a true test. Yeah. And then your thing is, you saw the test I did on that. I did the exact same test on that. Do you understand that? And they're like, yeah. And then it's very simple. You ask one question. Do you want to buy a filter or do you want to be the filter? Right. And then you don't say a word.
Yep.
You just sit there because they've got to think about it. And I didn't dummy anything down. I showed them in a way they can understand how much chlorine is there, and that if they don't filter it out, it goes into their body. And guys, that's a true story. Mike Grimaldi says, good conversation reminds me to communicate more effectively with customers, especially eval and estimate fee for machine diagnosis. Here's the deal, guys. Look, we can't show up at people's houses for free. And man, I saw a post by Tommy Mello the other day, and he said, look, we are in business to make profit. You understand that. Chevrolet makes profit. Walmart makes profit. McDonald's makes profit. AT&T makes truckloads of profit, and they don't hide it. Why do we as plumbers and HVAC techs, why do we think, look, we should be cheap. We should not make good money. I want my technicians to be able to take vacations. I want them to put up in a savings account. I want them to be able to pay their bills. And man, I saw a post yesterday that I'm just like, I love this. We've got to start taking pride when they say like, man, you make a lot of money. Yeah, I earn a lot of money. I've gone through a lot of training to make that money. Yes. Anyway, yes, we need to have show up fees. And people call me and say, well, you've got a show up fee. Why? Well, I've got a warehouse on wheels that I've invested $100,000 in. I've got a technician that I spend $10,000 a year on. He makes $200,000 a year, and he's coming out to your house, and you think I should be there for an hour for free? It's not, because that's not how business works. Right. And a lot of people are still trying to. Well, I'm not charging a show up fee. Okay, go broke. You're good. Have fun. Jared Tucker says, looks like a lot of union people out there. That's great. Retired from local 146 in Fort Worth. Jared, look, there's a ton of union people out there. I've tried reaching out to the UA, the IBEW, don't remember SMACNA, whatever it is, the sheet metal. I would love to have the presidents of each one of those locals and the elevator local, the national president, not the local union, but the elevators union. I'd love to have them in. Guys, they've got a phenomenal training program. They've got a great insurance plan. They've got a good benefits package. We need to be recruiting into the trades, not just the union. Y'all are 100% service. Yes. You don't want to do commercial work, do you? Nope. You ain't competing with the union at all. Nope. A lot of people getting in the trades don't know, do I want to do service? Do I want to do new construction? What's the difference? That's why I talk about that in my videos. Guys, the opportunities are out there. We can make as much money as we want in the union, out of the union, working for ourselves. It's just great stuff. Old Country Off-Road says every company deals with customers and has issues with finding willing and able employees. You know, it's true. It is. And I met a lady. I had her in here a few weeks ago, Libby, and she's designed a system that basically creates ads. And I'm working with her right now because after having Dennis in here for $1 a day ads, it's like, okay, if I tie all three of us together, man, we can create something cool. But can you imagine putting ads out for, you want technicians? We can put ads out for that. We can put ads out that start out with, are you the best technician at your company? Because if you're sitting at home, you're probably not the kind of technician we want. And guys, that's how my ad would start out. Am I wrong?
No.
Are you the technician at your company that everybody comes to for an answer? Because you're the kind of technician we want. By the way, does that company respect you enough to spend $10,000, $15,000 a year in training on you to help you get better?
If they don't, you're not at the right company.
Or are you the one training everybody else? Because if so, you're probably not at the right company. And that's level one. Boom, man, I saw that video, liked it. Ooh, watched the whole thing, watched it twice, maybe even hearted it. Well, if you do all that, then in the next couple of days, you'll probably get another video. Have you thought about that? Are you in the right spot? Because if not, let me tell you what. There are companies out there, I still hadn't even sold them yet. There are companies out there that do that. There are companies out there that send most of their employees to 2 or 3 trainings a year. They fly them out of town. They put them up in a hotel. They send them to trainings. And what does this training do? Not just make the company better. It makes this technician more money. Yes. And if you're not at a company like that, why not? And that's it. Did they watch that whole video? Did they heart it? Did they like it? What did they do? Because you should be able to get a 10% conversion on it.
Yes.
Okay? Then they get the last one. So you're that kind of guy or girl. We've got girls too. You're that kind of technician. First of all, congratulations. I want to tell you how much I respect technicians like you. Y'all are the salt of the earth. You're what makes things happen. You're that top 20% of the companies that we talk about all the time. Is your family taken care of the way you want them taken care of? Do you make the most money that you think you could possibly make? Do you have time to spend with your family when you need to? What things are important for you? Because we'd like to talk to you about those.
Absolutely.
Boom, boom, boom. Dude's like, wait, what's the number? Where do I click? And I've got people that have systems that help them through that. And not only that, but now they click on it and say, I like it. And it's like, okay, number one, what credentials do you have? Tell me about your worst plumbing day. Tell me about your best plumbing day. It may ask them 4 or 5 questions and it just says submit. Well, now you've got their name, you've got their email address, you've got the answer to these questions. You may read through those questions and say, yep, he ain't for us.
Yep.
Oh, he smokes 3 packs a day? Yep, probably don't want him. I'm just saying, nothing bad about it, but you can't get rid of that smell when you walk into a customer's house.
True story.
I'm preach. Anyway, you can find willing, able employees and customers if you learn to do things right. I remember talking to Josh before I get there. I'm like, man, how hard is it for you to get new technicians? He said, well, we've got a stack of them. Mm-hmm. People apply all the time, but we're always looking for the very best. Yes. Has Josh ever called you and say, hey, do me a favor, send me the 4 worst applicants you got?
Yes.
The worst?
Yes.
Just so he can throw them out real quick. Here, I'm just going to tear them up real quick. Okay. When we're hiring, nobody calls and says, hey, send me the bottom 10. That's the ones I want to talk to.
Yeah.
Guys, be good at what you do.
Be the destination. People create the culture and the atmosphere that people want to come to work for you.
Everybody wants to.
Yes.
Maria DeSanto says, so talk like Kamala Harris. Yeah, you could. Jared Tucker says, looks like a lot of union members. Okay, talked about that. Listen to that. That's great. And still learn something new. Dude, we can always learn something new. I talked about that earlier. I go to conferences and people come up and they're like, Roger, you could speak at this conference, and I may be. Or I could speak about that particular topic. But I will still sit through the entire training with my notebook on the front row taking notes. And people that see me at conferences know I'm there to learn. I don't just go, okay, I'm paid to speak, so I'm going to come hang out and party and go to the bar and, take helicopter rides around town. I'm here to learn. I may do all those other things, but I'm still there to learn.
Yes.
And it's huge. Alicia T says, I just installed a whole house water filtration system because I installed a tankless water heater, and it was the most difficult job I've ever done in my life. Your vids really helped me. Thank you. Number one, Alicia, congratulations. And I don't know if you're in the trades or if you did this at your house, but look, if you've got a tankless water heater, guess what? You really do need a filtration system for it. Man, I love that you did that. So congratulations. I'd love to also know, are you a technician or is this your house? Did you just learn to do it? The cool thing is here in Texas, if it's your homestead, legally, you can install your own plumbing. You can install your own HVAC. You can install your own electrical, but you've got to call and get permits and get it inspected just like we do. And that's such a big deal. Kat says, hi. What if you're in an HOA association and they don't want to repair a PVC pipe as a common element? We just paid $2,500 assessment and now want $1,000 more for sewage, water line issues, and raise the HOA. Man, HOAs own the world. I'm just going to tell you, nobody can fight them and win. I mean, you might be able to, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. They get to make the rules in their HOAs, and it's sad, but that's the way they're set up. Theo Smeda says, greetings, Roger. Theo here from South Africa, 23 years in the trade. No matter the country, found everything travel. Hey, if you want to travel, you can find whatever you want to find. It's what it's all about. Kat says, also, this is for another condo. We lived there for 7 years. Tell us our repairs are not a priority. How would you deal with the situation? Man, HOAs are their own game. It must be getting close to 12 o'clock. Just saying. What are you laughing at? Look, HOAs, I would say, number one, contact the president of the HOA. Go to the community boards, the meetings that they have. Let your voice be heard. Run to be on the HOA. Become a member of it. And I don't just mean a member paying dues. Become a board person where you have a chair, you have a seat. And that's how you make changes in anything. Old Country Off-Road says, I can vouch for that. Roger's entire team was sitting together at Vid Summit, and Roger was taking notes. Even got video footage of it. See? And if you're at a conference, you're taking video of me taking notes. The rooster has crowed. Well, let me see that because I don't know if they can hear that.
It is linked in the description.
Oh, it is linked. The rooster crow is?
No,
Oh,
the book.
oh, the book is? Okay. Here we go. Ready? All right. One more time. Y'all ready? I know y'all think we're crazy. And we're not denying that. All right, I think I turned it off. Okay, so number one, since the rooster crowed, got a book I want to tell you about here. 50 Ways to Eat Cock.
I love it.
Isn't chicken amazing?
Yeah, I feel like I should have been the one that said that.
I know. Her husband's right outside the room, so I gotta be careful. Be careful how this conversation goes. Yeah, man, it's Whiskey Wednesday. So,
Sipping Saturday.
yeah, Sipping Saturday. Found Whiskey Wednesday's LinkedIn. Sorry, guys, man, it's been a long week already.
Yet.
I know we haven't even got the whiskey yet. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna scroll down to this one, and it says, was just watching. Oh, by the way, guys, this book, 50 Ways to Eat Cock, Healthy Chicken Recipes with Balls. You got to love that.
It's genius.
It's genius, and it is. And man, this is a good book. On the back, it says Curious About Cock. Up to the top says Let 'em Eat Cock. NutritionHeretic.com. Guys, we've got a link to this. And I saw this book out at my sister's house. I think she eats cock too. I mean, they've got dips. They got all kinds of cool stuff in here. Anyway,
There are no pictures.
if you like,
so-
I know. That's the Kama Sutra book. No, and there are pictures. Oh wait, there's like
I'm
a
lying.
soup or a something. Hold on. There's only one picture in here. Where
and it really is a soup.
It was a soup, or maybe it was just the author that looked like a soup. I thought I saw a soup.
That
See
looked like a
pictures of
guy.
roosters. It may. Well, yeah. There you go. Okay, and there it is. There's the soup. So it is. There's
Oh. Okay.
pieces of cock or ginger or something like that. I can't tell. There's some more soup. So I guess there's a lot of soup in here. Simple digestive broth. So anyway, lots of good things in this book. Anyway, I saw this on my sister's shelf and fell in love with it. So had to put a link in there. So Kimberly, the next question is just watching your shower head replacement video. What's the purpose of applying the white Teflon tape before screwing on the shower head? Do you know that answer?
It seals it.
Okay, perfect. You can talk about that while I go grab Tell everybody who you are and what you do. Go to camera number 5. You can just sit there and talk. Click on 5 right there.
Where's the 5?
See the red one? Stop. See the red one down there?
Oh, yeah, duh.
Go to number 5.
I haven't even had bourbon yet. What am I doing? Oh, yes, you are. But I have, and you can go ahead and bring that in here if you would like. Okay. I'm fine with that. Garrison Brothers is actually amazing.
Garrison Brothers is a what?
Amazing.
Did Randy bring ice? Do you like ice? Do you like it?
Just sure.
I thought I heard ice while ago, but I may not have. Have him bring me a cup of ice, if you would, Colton.
They have if you like honey, Garrison Brothers has a really good honey.
I think I've got it.
Honeydew, not honeydew melon, just honeydew. And I love it.
Ice is where? Will you grab like that black cup out there and bring me some or us
You
some?
can make a really good old fashioned with that.
Ooh.
Put a honeycomb on the top, light it on fire so the honey drizzles down into the glass. So that's your sweet. It's good stuff.
Get you go.
Don't get me started on cigars and old fashions, and
and I don't smoke cigars. And it's funny because one of my favorite restaurants is Javier's in Dallas. You ever been there?
I've not.
Oh my gosh, gourmet Mexican.
Okay.
And it's fun. I'll tell you what to order.
Okay.
Probably don't like red meat, do you? Just know I love it. It is what I always get there is the filet pimienta.
Okay.
It's a filet, medium rare. Cover it with a black peppercorn sauce.
Okay.
And then they have like steamed veggies and stuff to go with it. I get rid of that and I do the sauteed, the creamed spinach.
Okay.
A double order. And I order an extra side of the peppercorn sauce to pour more on the filet.
Okay.
As good as the filet is, the peppercorn sauce is amazing.
Okay.
Now I'm drooling. So now we get ice in here. Thank you so much, Squirt. I appreciate that. I'm going to put a little bit of ice in mine. That was kind of cloudy, so it's been in there for too long. Oh, what a shot.
Good.
If you'd like ice, help yourself. If you don't, that's up to you. I'm going to do a Garrison Brothers. You want Garrison Brothers? Or would you like? I brought in just so y'all know. I'm trying to remember which one this is. It's the Horse Soldier small batch. Okay. So I've got small batch Horse Soldier. So there you go. Make yourself fair.
Thank you.
And I've got small batch Garrison Brothers. And it's Saturday, and the rooster has crowed. So it is afternoon. No, we don't drink much. We both finished pouring. It's like, and we've got and I don't know that y'all can really see it. We've got, let me see, go back to camera 1 real quick. You can't see it.
Can you?
No,
maybe
they got the Roger
back.
Wakefield logo. They got the face logo on the front of the glass. Happy Saturday to you.
You too.
Welcome. Okay, so this is the first Sippin' Saturday that we've done in here.
Yay.
Just because you're special.
Oh.
But you know that. So anyway, guys, happy Saturday to you. Man. Now we're going to talk about 50 ways to eat cock. The link is in the description. Hope y'all enjoy it. It really is. It's pretty funny. And when you give that to people, the look on their face is just like,
It's actually kind of genius.
it is, isn't it?
It's kind of
It is. Rapid Rome, rapid Rome repair.
only had
Man,
one
I know. I
sip,
only
right?
have one. I know, man. I need another one to fix that. Oh yeah, it's a better day already. Home Rapid Repair, what is up? Good to see you in here. Hope everything is going well. Thank you. Iron Templar says, LOL. Hope we're talking about chicken. Nick Garofalo says, I really enjoy your content. I was talking to my boss about leak detection. We mostly do drain cleaning and sewer repairs. Do you offer any free training with Leak Pro? I'm next door in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Man, we don't have free training. You can watch a lot of our YouTube videos that are out there and see how to do it. But hey, do y'all make good money on leak detection? Okay, that's why they bought me, y'all. It is what it is. Josh says, look, that is one of the best services to provide. Yeah. That and whole home water filtration systems. I was doing both of them. And a lot of other companies are like, we ain't messing with that.
Yep. Yep.
They don't understand
And we
the
get those
systems.
calls every day.
You bet. From other
We get
companies.
those calls every day.
Yeah, say, hey, do y'all really do this? Because we're going to send people your way.
Yeah.
When you're a good company and you do things right, they do. They send them to you. Nick, we don't have any free training. We have built a training center here in Wiley, Texas. And I'll take Kim out and show her to her here in a little bit. But I mean, we've got the Leak Pro slab leak detection equipment. It's for listening, but we've also built a sewer system to where we can teach plumbers how to do a whole house test, how to isolate, how to find the leaks. And man, it's neat. And no, we can't do all that for free. And it's sad because, I wish we could. I wish it was just something I could say, look, guys, this is how you do it. But until you've got that tool in your hand and you're literally touching the valve and listening to it and listening all along the line and know where it is. We were talking earlier about dispatching. Uh-huh. You don't just send every plumber out to a slab leak job, do you?
No.
Because you'll lose them. You'll get a plumber out there and be like, man, I don't think you have a leak. Well, the meter won't stop spinning. Well, there's something running somewhere that they don't get it. Now, I don't mean it bad. Nick, this is the first training that we did out in Morongo Valley, California, outside of Palm Springs. I think the guy paid about $13,000 for it because he bought 3 kits and trainings, and it was a group rate because I knew the guy, a friend of mine. It's the first training Henry and I went and did. It's 13, 14 grand. He calls me when he gets home Monday, sent one of the plumbers that was there and sold like a $25,000 job. That's awesome. First job. Paid for his trip, paid for his tools, paid for everything in one job. Nick, that's why training is not free. And I promise you, and it's funny because I've had Oscar come out here, I've had Tyler come out here, and they both look at the training center. It's like, we need to go through this.
Yes.
It's like, but you do this all the time. And they're like, yeah, but this is phenomenal. Yeah. And it's something that's never been. I've always wondered why there's not a training center like I built. But man, it is. It's cool. Kat says, is that from Whistle Britches? Is that from Whistle Britches Dallas restaurant, that Chick Crowning? It's a great restaurant that Guy Fieri visited. Man, I don't know. Chick Crowning. Man, I'll have to check into that. I don't know where Guy Fieri's been in Dallas, but it's funny because if I go to, like, I'm headed to Cancun, Cozumel, and Playa Car next week, but I know that he went down to Cabo. So when I was there, I went over to the restaurant that he went to in Cabo, and it was pretty good. Ordered what he said, and it was real good.
He actually has a new cigar out.
Does he?
He does.
Well, see, since I don't smoke cigars, I wouldn't know.
You should.
I should.
Especially when you drink your bourbon.
Well, I like my bourbon just the way it is. I don't need no cigar smoke in it. Taylor says prevents leaking. Perfect. Thank you. Off to Home Depot. Taylor, good deal. Go shopping. Tommy Brown says 24-year-old Renee, 2024, I guess, outside unit in Fort Worth, I guess, with whole house filtration, no salt unit outside. Also, no problem vouching for Roger. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Look, number one, I love the Renai units. I think they're phenomenal. You do need a filtration system. Every tankless manufacturer says, look, treat the water before it gets into your water heater. It's going to make your unit last longer. It's going to keep your heat exchanger from filling up with calcium and magnesium. It treats your water. But more important than that, it takes care of you. When you're putting your child in a bathtub full of water, you're soaking them in chlorine that their body's absorbing. Not just chlorine, there's a lot of other chemicals. But do what you got to do. Old Country Off-Road said that was a strong sip. You talking about me or Kim? Just wondering. Speaking of, my throat's getting a little parched here. No, I was thinking about how to word the question. You were an HVAC company for 8 years. Now you've done plumbing for 2.
Yes.
Do you like having the plumbing in your forte?
Absolutely.
It's nice to be able to take care of customers. Isn't it?
Absolutely. Plus plumbers are really cool dudes.
And I mean, we lay pipe for a living. It's
there's that.
yeah, there is that. The cool thing is, I do. And look, I've been a plumber my whole life. If people ask me, hey, if you just had to pick a trade for people to get in, what would you recommend? It would always be plumbing, because to me, it's something anybody can do with the right training if you want to be trained, if you're coachable. But electrical, I never wanted to get shocked. HVAC, in the summertime, you can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for about 4 months, maybe 5.
Yes.
And I never wanted that. But to be honest, when I got into plumbing because that's what my friends' dad and brothers did. That's what he told me about. I never even thought about getting into another trade. The idea never crossed my mind. But I love the fact that and I kid you not, when Josh and Michael and I talked about them acquiring Texas Green Plumbing, it's like, Roger, look, you do slab leaks, leak detection, whole house water filtration, and that's what we want to get good at. Right. It's like, well, we don't just do it, we do it good. And we had good equipment. We had good people. We knew how to talk to the customers about it. And it's a great tool to have. It's a great service to have. But to be honest, if you're a residential service company, your number one priority needs to be your customer taking care of their house.
Yes.
All aspects of it.
That's true.
And I used to love that when I was a plumber, when I'd walk in and I'd see something else that's like, look, it's my job to help you take care of your house. You've got a problem with your HVAC system. You've got a problem with your foundation. I'm going to give you some names of people that I would call if I were you. And these are people that I trust. Because if you're just, and man, if you're that guy out there that, and I hate to say this, you just recommend the cheapest guy in town,
Right.
Man, be careful. Be careful, because you don't know, how are they the cheapest guy in town? And I still remember it. And I graduated high school over 40 years ago. And I know you just thought I was 40. Busted that bubble, didn't I? So I remember driving to high school, and there used to be a laundry, a cleaners, that had one of those signs on the building where they could change the letters. And they changed them about once a week. And they always put the coolest little quotes up there, almost like that sign down in Austin, Texas.
Yes.
Okay? Love that place. El Arroyo. I've got the books. Matter of fact, it's on my bookcase at home. But I remember in this one particular sign, I still remember today, that says, our competition may be cheaper, only they know the true value of the service they provide.
Wow.
And I'm like, bam. Man, when you've got a mindset like that, okay, right, other guys may be cheaper. I don't know what they're giving up to do it cheaper.
Right.
But we use the best products. We have the best people. We have the best equipment. We have the best training. We have the best support staff. We have the best of everything. I can't do all that and be cheaper. It's impossible.
No, and I think it's important that when you can't just say those things, you have to show.
That's why I started my own company.
Show. Yeah.
I was working at one of the union contractors here in Dallas that decided they were going to get into residential service, plumbing and HVAC. God, 10 years ago, something like that. And I'm in an executive meeting one day because I'm director of operations, new construction. And I'm in a meeting, and the young lady who's taken over the company from her parents is talking about what they're fixing to do and why they're fixing to do it. And she says, so this is what we're going to do. She says, and we're going to market it as we have the best trained plumbers and we specialize in customer service. I'm like, man, cool. So I got questions. Go ahead, Roger. What are we doing to train our plumbers? She said, what do you mean? So if we've got the best trained plumbers, what training are we giving them? She says, well, Roger, all our plumbers have licenses. So does every other plumber in the state of Texas that is a plumber. Says, yeah, but they've got a license, that they're trained. Wow, number one. So what are we doing to train them for customer service? Now, remember, at the time, Julie was an etiquette protocol consultant, learning this to do her own business, yada, yada, yada. What are we doing to train them in customer service? She says, well, we'll make sure all our plumbers know how to say please and thank you and yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. And that was me. I'm in an executive board meeting thinking, wow, this is, talk about being in the wrong seat, on the wrong bus, going the wrong direction at the wrong time. I am like, this is a chamois company and this ain't where I want to be. And it went downhill real quick. And I remember the Friday that I left, I called Julie and said, hey, do me a favor, come pick me up. She said, this doesn't sound good, because I had a company truck,
right?
Phone, credit cards, computers. I said, come pick me up. I'll be out front with my box. And and 3 days later, I started my own company. Pretty interesting. You know, if you're going to say you're going to do something, do something. And man, I want to go back to the training on the leak detection. If you're not trained at it and you're trying to sell it as a service, that's hard to do. And I don't mean that bad, and not because I'm just trying to sell you training. But if I go out and tell people that I know how to work on their HVAC, says, look, I'm a certified HVAC technician. I am. Anybody can go to Texas State Board and look at, or the TDLR and look it up. I'm certified. I didn't say certifiable. I said I'm certified. I'm a certified HVAC technician. But I promise you, you don't want me working on your HVAC. Right. I don't even work on mine because I studied it. I got my license, but I never did enough of it to know really how to do it right. And if I'm not going to fix my own, do you think I'm going to go fix somebody else's? Get the training on it. It makes all the difference in the world. Philip says, what's your best advice for a solo plumber to get their name out there? And my advice is social media. Do what I do. Do what I did. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. It doesn't matter. Start getting... if I was a local plumber focusing on one area, I would literally start on Facebook. I would start making videos about what you're doing each and every day, why you're doing it, how you're taking care of customers like Miss Kimberly. Have your website set up. You know, you've got to ask yourself this question: are you Googleable? You know, talked about that earlier. Yeah. Something I'm working with Dennis Yu. You need a website that people can find, but you've got to be doing great work. And how do you get your name out there? You find customers that you can take amazing care of each and every day, and ask them to write you 5-star reviews. Yes. And that's huge.
That's it. That rescue area, that's how Josh and Michael started the company. It was forever before they had a marketing budget. They were simply word of mouth. You could go to any Google, still today, you can go to any platform in Google Rescue Area, and we're sitting at a 4.7, 4.8 across the board. So once you do get your name out there enough that people start calling you, then I mean, you have to be delivering that 5-star service, because then what are they going to do? They're going to tell their neighbor, they're going to tell their mom, they're going to tell their dad, they're going to tell everybody else, and then there you are.
Big, guys. It is big. Andres Ferden says, get water tested, then you know what filters you need for your home. I completely agree. There are companies that do third-party testing, which I think are fantastic. Plumbers, a lot of good plumbers can come out and just do a test at the house, test for chlorine, chloramite, pH, stuff like that. That's the problem most of us have. There are some great water filter companies out there that, I mean, I've got one in my house that I love. Then there's companies like Flowtech that suck. And I tell people about it all the time. David Johnson he doesn't stand behind his product, so I would never use it. And I've upset a lot of plumbers saying that, but man, it's the truth. It's the product. You know, you're only as good as your reputation. And when you walk in and leave a reputation with a company like me, I will tell people, I don't care. I'm honest. I've got people that can back it up. Find a good product that is going to last. Find a good product that the people will stand behind. Andres says plumbers are heroes. Man, we wear capes each and every day. Plumbers are normally an emergency. Hey, we've got a backup. We've got a stoppage. We've got a leak. We've got this. It's a right now thing. But, you know, there's heroes in the HVAC world too that come in when it's 100 degrees outside or 115 degrees outside. And it's like, hey, here's what we can do to get you up and running. So it's in all the worlds. Alicia T says, it was my mother's house where I installed it. And yes, I did draw up the plans, got them approved by the city inspector. I would love to be a technician, but I'm not really sure how to go about it. Alicia T, number one, where do you work? Or I'm sorry, where do you live? Because my thought is, if you have designed and installed a whole house water filtration system and a tankless water heater and did it right and got it approved and inspected and all that, there's a plumbing company in your area. They'll be like, look, I'll give you a shot. I mean, I'd hire you.
Are you in the Dallas-Fort Worth area,
yeah, you
Alicia?
see that? Are you in Dallas, Fort Worth, anywhere around here? Or do you want to relocate? Yeah. Because, but I'm telling you, that to me, man, and I had this conversation with a lady. I was at a Field Service Expo, and this lady interviewed me. And she says, you know, Roger, what do you teach? Because she asked me about my courses. So I started talking about the courses, and she's like, but what do you teach? I said, well, getting into the trades. She said, so you teach them how to be good tradesmen? No. I don't teach them the trade. I teach them how to be great tradespeople. Yes. And she says, well, what do you mean? I said, well, what if? What if I come in? I said, how many interviews have you done this last year? She said, probably about a dozen. I said, okay. So you're interviewing me as a technician, as an apprentice, whatever. She said, okay. I said, let's say I'm an apprentice. And I walk in, and I'm like, hi, Miss Becca. I'm Roger Wakefield. And I shake your hand. I say, look, I just want to tell you, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you spending the time to sit and talk with me about the position you're hiring for. And we sat down, and we go through the interview process, and she asks questions. And maybe she gets to a question where I need to look something up. It's like, you know what? I can pull out my phone and give you that answer, but I've got it turned off. Do you mind if I pull it? Do you want me to pull it out and give you the answer? And if she says yes, I can. If she says no, that's fine. Did you see the way Kim smiled? I've already learned, no, look, it was so important to me. I turned my phone off, so I can't just pull it out and look at it.
Right.
But if you'd like me to, I can. Then you go through some more questions. And she gets to the end. She says, so do you have any questions for me? It's like, well, as a matter of fact, I do. If I come here, how does that better me and my family? Because as much as I want a job, and as much as I want to come to work for you, I need to know that I'm going to be put in a position where I can learn and grow. I've got a family, and I want to take good care of them, and that's really important to me. And you listen to that answer. And then maybe another question is, Kimberly, if I came to work here for you today, what could I do in the next 6 months or year to make you think, man, I hired the right person? Right. And because then that lets her know, look, I'm worried about how I look. I want to do a good job. And you ask those questions. And when she says, do you have any more? Yes or no. And when you're done, you get up, you walk up, you shake her hand again. And you say, Miss Kimberly, I want to tell you, look, this was an honor. I appreciate being here. And I hope that I gave you enough answers to help you figure out that maybe I am the right person for the job. And if I didn't, I hope you'll tell me what I did wrong or what I said wrong, or maybe I'm just not the right guy, but I'd love to know that. Yeah. So you shake her hand again and you leave. And I'm looking at this Becca interview me and her jaw's hanging open.
Right.
And I said, so I got a question. She says, yeah. I said, do you hire them? She says, every day. I hire them immediately. I said, have you ever had anybody walk in an interview like that? She says, no. Yeah. You learn, look, and this is just one section I teach, but that's what I was talking about that day. So that's where it led me.
I think one of the most important things you can do as a company interviewing somebody is look for the person that's interviewing you as well. And you can tell when they are. Because if they're interviewing you just as much as you're interviewing them, that's probably somebody that you want on the team because they care about their future with you.
And there's a true interest right there.
Yes.
I love that. So, Alicia, and I keep looking over here in the live comments. I see that you have not replied yet, but yeah, I'd love to know just where you're at. And if getting into the trades is something you're interested in, reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's where anybody can always connect with me. But reach out to me on LinkedIn, send me a message. Let me know where you're at, what trade you'd like to get into. And if it's something you're serious about, I'll help you find a job. Philip says, I went from spending a decade in a white-collar job and switched to plumbing and love every second of it. Best decision ever. And I hear that a lot, so it's a good thing. Andres Ferdin says, is it true you need a permit to change a toilet? Anytime that you get into the water system, you're supposed to get a permit. You're supposed to get it inspected, whole 9 yards. And I've actually got a red tag on the toilet because I did not put caulk around it. I don't like it myself. If it's leaking, I want to see it. And you never know when a bolt gets rusty or a flange breaks or something. I want the water to come out where I see it, not just keep going up under the floor under the house and causing problems. So I already started caulking the side and the front. But yeah, I got a red tag on the toilet. And guys, look, we all make mistakes. I should have known before I called for the inspection that city required that. That way I could do what I did. Mike says, I watched your whole house video, but don't recall which technology you recommend. I don't remember which whole house video you're talking about. Whole house water filter. It'd probably be a Halo 5. I love that one.
That's what we
yeah, that's what y'all use too. Yeah, Glenn Blavet is amazing at coming in and training your people.
Yes.
And I love his idea of, this is a $300,000 Sharpie. And the way he teaches you learn it, you want to learn it. And he's got training to help you become water certified, where you can literally walk in and talk to people about water. Variable Sound says, hey, Big Raj. I know, I do need a drink. I'm starting to get parched again. And I see I'm right down at the end, too, so I'm trying to make sure I get the last few comments on. Says, hey, Big Raj, do I need to drain the water heater for safety purposes when I'm replacing a main shutoff valve, or will the water stay in the tank? Number one, if you're changing the main valve, you don't have to drain the tank. If you'll turn off the pressure or turn off the water to the house at the meter at the valve box, make sure the valve is open to the water heater, which it currently is. Open a valve, a hot and cold, and I like lavatories that have two handles or a tub or something like that. Just take the pressure off. Let it drain down that far. Then you can, if you want to, you can hit the TMP on the water heater. If it's an old TMP and you haven't hit it in a long time, don't do that. But you're trying to keep the water in the tank. There's no point in draining it down. But just in case you open that up and somebody turns on hot somewhere, and I know hot comes out the top, so it shouldn't happen, or they turn on cold, you've got it disconnected, go ahead and turn your water heater off, whether it's gas or electric. Water should never get down low enough to bother it, but do it just in case. That will help you. Andre says, yes, water stays in the tank. Hey, Roger, can I pass the journeyman test if I have 8,000 hours in a 3-year period? Or do I have to wait till the 4th year? Zendine, if you can document your 8,000 hours, it doesn't say how long you have to take to get it. It just says you've got to have 8,000 hours. Man, I got a tickle down in there. So, guys, this has been fun. We've got a little bit over. Kim, if people wanted to come to work for Rescue Air, who should they call? And I say Rescue Air and Plumbing.
Yes.
Who should they contact?
You can call our main office, 972-964-2665. Tell them what you're calling for. And then if you want to, you can definitely ask for me as well. And tell them what you're calling for. And I promise I will get you in the door for an interview for sure. We definitely need some really good people.
972-974-2665.
972. 964.
96. Yeah, I missed it by 1.
2665.
964-2665.
That's
So,
it.
guys, there it is right there. You can see that. Is Celeste still the one
She
taking care of things
is.
over there?
She is.
Tell Celeste that Roger and Kim told you to call.
Yes.
Matter of fact, tell them Kim. Whatever. You know. They don't like me over there. I'm a plumber. No, I'm joking. Alicia says, I'm from San Diego, but I would love to reach out to you on LinkedIn. Thank you, Roger. Alicia, you are more than welcome. I'm trying to think, do we have companies in San Diego? Between our connections, we can probably find somebody in San Diego. So, Alicia, definitely reach out, and we'll see what we can do for you. Kim, this has been wonderful.
Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun.
It is fun, isn't it? I mean, you get to talk about what you do all day long.
I do.
And you love it.
And
so
drink
that makes
bourbon.
it. Oh, we are doing that, aren't we? That's always a good thing. Guys, this has been fun. Kim, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Roger.
Rescue Air and Plumbing, if you want a job, if you are wanting to get in the trades, if you're already, like I said, if you're the best technician in your company and they don't recognize you or take care of you or treat you like you're the best, and you're in the Dallas area or you want to be,
Come see me.
yeah, reach out. Reach out. Guys, this has been amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope to see you again. If you like this, I hadn't even looked. Man, all these people in here, and right now I'm only showing 5 thumbs up. There's been a problem. That means I did something wrong, which is normal. Guys, if you like what we do, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and, man, let YouTube know that you like what you saw here today. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope that we see you back real soon. I'm Roger Wakefield, helping you make more money in the trades.